So we're live.
Perfect. All right. And let me send it through. All
Oh,
right, it's on the Discord too. Now it's just gotta refresh and check. All right. I think we should be
Man, I really
pretty
wanted to
much
make
there.
fun of the Lakers on the stream, but I can't even make fun of the Lakers because the Laker guy ain't here.
I mean,
That's tough.
yeah.
Crow definitely talks about the Lakers more than I do, but like, shit, it's
People
tough.
really
Like,
thought
we just gotta take the L.
people thought Luca was the best player in the series. It might be Edwards.
Based on how
Definitely.
he's playing, yeah, it's definitely Ant. But
Luka's
yeah, I
been
think
hurt the majority of the, not the majority, but a good amount of the year. LeBron is literally got an AARP card. Let's go ahead and give it to the youngest boy that's literally took 3 point to a whole nother level, scoring to a whole nother level. And it's definitely the best player in the series.
yeah.
And I
But
know
anyways, what's good, everybody? Thank you for coming into the stream. However many of y'all are in here. For now, for today, Crow's not with us. He's just got a lot of things tying down, so it's just us three for today. Obviously, we would have talked about the Lakers and how much they sucked, but
He
we
ducking
also got a
smoke.
huge much to talk about in terms of the chapter, especially Brook. So, hey, we can dive into anything, but for now, just know he's gonna get a lot of screen time from here on out. So I'm gonna be excited.
this is the
JJ
It's
Scroll is
best.
beautiful.
This is
fucking
the
Lakers
best
smoke.
Brook. I think it's the best Brook chapters in the last, probably since the pre-time skip.
Since Whole Cake
Are we
Island, I say.
are we looking at this moment on the same level as how he stepped up to Big Mom? Are we thinking this a little bit better? How would
Oh
y'all
hell
rate
no.
it?
I think it's just like a simple moment of like showing loyalty to Luffy. Cause obviously I feel like everyone else would have been the same way. If Gunko was interested in either Nami, Usopp, like, oh my god, it's Soge King, it's God Usopp, let me make a god my slave. And then like it could have been the same deal. Like, no, I'll never be with you, like I'm only loyal to Luffy and whatnot. So I feel like it's just like a showcase and like yet again he is like through and through a straw hat and will only be with Luffy.
Yeah, and my
Plus,
favorite part about this moment, it was kind of special where you have Gunko, who is like immortal, and then Brook, who's also like, I guess he's not immortal, but he has a second life. And,
mhm.
and so it's interesting because Brook is basically saying here he would prefer to die. And I think that makes Gunko, like, Gunko takes it personally because, she doesn't even have the option of that choice. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that was a cool moment.
Or maybe based on what we see that Brook has recognized Gunko in some way, shape, or form, that maybe it could be that like earlier on in Brook's life, Gunko was someone that he knew. Maybe it was a fling, maybe it was like just a person he was with, a partner, anything. But it seems that there's something there, and because Brook is easily ready to die, and Gunko, if she was regular beforehand, now has the whole regeneration thing, is a god's knight, has like all this like higher status things and whatnot in terms of ranking. She takes offense to that, so
Yeah.
it's a whole dynamic between them two.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite
I
part
also,
of the whole situation.
Saying,
I also like the fact that in comparing Big Mom with Gunko, like the only two times when Brooke had people not look at him like, oh, you're scary. Oh, he got to reject these people because of his loyalty to his crew. You know, Big Mom wanted him to be a part of her collection and all the little misfits and different races that she got. Gunko want him to make music. Basically fulfill his passion. And this man just got to be loyal to Luffy, man. It's like dang, he been over here asking for panties, and now he get to actually see some panties, but he can't roll with that girl because she asking for too much. It's tough. Being Brooke is tough, yo.
hey, it be like that sometimes. But
It be like
other than that, let's see. What else is there to talk about? I mean, cover story, Yamato not really doing anything, just eating with Raizo and
that.
Otama, not doing much. Let's see, what else? We get a little bit of a flashback from like 10 minutes ago with Saul and Robin explaining who they are in terms of the God's Knights, trying to make sure that they can stay alive to protect the children. Y'all notice anything different?
So I didn't really notice anything different, but I've seen some other people, going to the end of the chapter, Robin actually stepped up, but I've heard some people speak ill on Robin for the fact that she finally get with Saul, and now that she's with Saul, she's hiding in his beard while he getting the beats put on him. Are y'all thinking that's some type of negative look upon Robin? Because me personally, um, well, I didn't really think too much of it, but at the same time, you saw you saw Saul being able to handle all these monstrosities that's been going on. You would kind of think the same thing, but I don't really think like her hiding is a negative look. Do y'all think it's a negative look in any regard?
See, I don't think of it as a negative thing. I think of it as like she's finally with Saul, and now that he's demanding something like serious for the first time since like 20 years, I feel like it's just Robin's instinct to just listen rather than be like, "No, I need to protect you," and then start fighting uh what's this dude's name? This one guy's name? The one that looks like
Summers?
just Summers. Yeah, yeah. So obviously,
Oh,
like, there's
God.
a reason why Saul doesn't want Robin and Chopper to fight Summer, so he just make the quick decision to just hide in the hair. So I mean, hey, it turned out better. I just think it's more so like a tactic thing rather than just being like, yo, they're ducking, she's scared. Like it's not real. Like I feel like it's more to it than that.
And me, I just think like a lot of times, when Luffy's fighting somebody, yo, y'all get out the way because I don't want no distractions. I don't want this could literally be looked at the same way. Saul's telling them to hide because he's trying to fight a God's Knight, and even though he know it wasn't a victory that he could prove, if y'all still sit low, y'all can still be useful later on. But all three of us getting our behinds whooped ain't doing nobody any good.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Also, shout out to people in chat saying Jinbe stocks going down. Yes, I'm afraid. Even Nami calling out Jinbe in this chapter is hella funny. Uh, yeah, I can't believe that Jinbe like is allowing this to happen. If he's like a billion berry bounty, like pirate and like official commander of a Yonko crew, he can't be letting this
He
happen.
got embarrassed, bro,
He did.
multiple times in the last two chapters.
It's sad. But
You
other
know, and
even like
I've been really questioning Jinbei since Egghead because he didn't
yes,
really do too much in that arc, and now carrying
carrying
into
boxes.
this arc, it's like, bro, what are we doing, man?
He put that fire out though. He's the
He
best
put that, yep,
firefighter in One Piece.
he put the fire out. At least yeah, at least he contributes in that way. But
He put the fire out in Wano. He moved some boxes in Egghead, and he put the fire out in Elbaf.
Honestly, at this
Big
point, he's just a
utility.
mobile submarine,
and he
and
caught what
that's
he
not good.
throws Zoro in the air and catches him. Yeah, I mean Jinbei, bro, it's like you got to step it up if because it's one thing for Usopp where it's like Usopp, we know he's not strong and he's a coward. Jinbei is a Yonko command, or I mean he's not a Yonko. What would you consider him, a Yonko commander?
I'd say,
Absolutely.
I'd
I would
say,
say top five,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I feel like any like of the upper half of the Straw Hats are considered commanders. I'd say, or
Yeah.
they all can.
YC3. YC3.
YC3.
YC3, I think that's fair.
And not only that, I mean a former warlord. We know he was putting in some work in Marineford as well, but it's just like it's kind of crazy because this is the same guy who was fighting Big Mom with his crew, and now he just like disappears in the most important moments.
Mega T said, "How do you think Gabon and Robin can combat the Knights?" Y'all got any good ideas for that? I think I have one for Gabon, but I don't know about Robin.
That's it. I'm thinking. I was, we spoke about it last week. I was hoping that, I watched Moore's video. He said something about the God's Knights leaving and then coming back. And then I was thinking, along those lines, and maybe them coming back would allow Dragon time to get there and be able to show them the weakness in regards to these Holy Knights. But if they got to make some moves now, then maybe Scopper already has the playbook to make that happen. But We already know Scopper has the ability to seek them out when nobody else has been able to. So I'm imagining he would know something to be able to put them down, or at least be able to damage them momentarily. I hope, because if not, then Scopper gonna be just as bad as Jinbe, and then how we gonna talk about him that chapter? Oof, that's gonna make Sanji stocks dip.
See, I'm thinking the opposite, low key, and I'm gonna pull a Kaido on this one and say Haki trumps all. I think that there's got to be some type of either Conqueror's Haki or something, because I feel like it's very strange that all of the very Haki prominent members of the Straw Hats are not going up against the Gods Knights right now, and the only ones that can't use Haki or barely can or should have, but they didn't, Jinbe. But
Do you think? Okay, how about one idea I have with Gabon is: do you think it's possible that the Roger Pirates ever fought against the Holy Knights, or even like Garling? Because what I'm thinking is maybe Gabon, if because I mean he was at God Valley too, so
God Valley, yeah.
it would be interesting if Gabon is the one who exposes their weaknesses to Luffy and Zoro and Sanji. And Gabon, I think Gabon is about to fight them right now, and then we'll see some of that. But then when you have Luffy involved and maybe even Loki eventually, I think this is going to be where we're going to see maybe like a mini flashback to Roger Pirates.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense.
Do they even know what's going on in the underworld, Luffy and Loki and all of them? Do they have any idea? I know we know that Loki does, but he hasn't, spilled the beans. All of this trauma going on up there, somebody somebody Spidey senses gotta be popping.
I feel
Where's
like they
Sanji
should.
with the woman radar?
Hey, low key, that's facts. Where is Sanji with the Rumen radar? He especially Nami crying out and doing all this and that. Like he should be detecting it by now. But
Nami's scared. Robin's pissed. You're slipping, Sanji. You
yeah,
you chase down some chick because her mouse and everything was sad on the other part of Onigashima, and your people is really in some trauma, and you just down there serving up giant deer meat. This is getting out of hand.
crazy. But what I will say is that Ghost Stocks with a good he said that they might have heard the announcement because that's fair. If they have the transponder snail that like plays out messages, although they might not have one in the underworld and maybe it's just the sun world and it's going all around that, but it could be through that one little transponder snail that Loki has. They could be talking through that too. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's possible that they heard the announcement. But if not, they need to get their ass up there quick.
Man, Loki about to. Last time we saw Loki was in the last chapter. Him and Luffy was sitting there with full stomachs. Them stomachs is about to calm down. Their power is about to be back up, and they're gonna have to still deal with this Loki situation because he was already looking like a menace when he still was chained up. Now he's chained up and about to be, for the most part, full power. I don't think they're gonna be able to get up to the sun realm anytime soon. Dealing with Loki.
Yeah. But in general, I'd say that like if there's any way to combat the Gods Knights with like any type of like technique or something like that, it's got to be Haki related because at the end of
Yes.
the day, if we're assuming that the Gods Knights have regeneration due to Emu and Emu has given them these powers, and the only thing that has startled Emu in this entire series so far has been Joy Boy's Conqueror's Haki, then I feel like Conqueror's definitely has to be at play here in some way, shape, or form.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. I mean, the only person that really did anything, well, Sanji got the sneak on Ethan. Zoro slowed him down a bit, but he didn't really put any kind of damage on him. But the only person that really was able to get any kind of reaction off of these Gorosei Holy Knight type people was Joy Boy with the rope. That was the only thing that was anything reminiscent to causing them any kind of damage. And we imagine that to be the Conqueror's Haki. We got Dorian Broggy comparing it to Shanks, so that's going to be the beginning of the end of it for sure. But that's going to make it tough because we only got 3 people on the crew. Luffy, Zoro, Frankie, the only 3 people in the crew that got Conqueror's Haki. So, like, what we gonna do with the other 7? I mean, it's looking tough. It's looking
Uh,
tough.
you know, I'm not even mad with the Frankie shout, but It would be crazy if he has it. But nah, there's no way. See, I feel like if any of the non-monster trio members of the Straw Hats get Conqueror's Haki, I feel like Oda might just pull something out of his ass where like they all do. In some way, shape, or form. So like I don't know how he would do that, but there's gotta be
If
something.
if
If he gives it
if
to a
Kobe
non-monster
could
trio.
have Conqueror's Haki with the sucker that he was, leaving Captain Axan Morganstown, anybody can have hockey as far as I'm concerned. You could literally look back at every Straw Hat got a Conqueror's type of moment. You just got this one with Brook. You got the Whole Cake Island one. Um, Maybe the only one that kind of don't is Usopp, but he'll get his eventually. But when you just know death is in your face and you still standing strong on that, what's more conqueror than that? And everybody's had that kind of moment in the Straw Hats. Give all of them conquerors.
They have. I mean, if the Straw Hats somehow get Conqueror's Haki, Malachi and Chad said Chopper with Conqueror's. Hey, if Chopper gets Conqueror's Haki, it is over for the entire verse. Because he will
Why?
destroy and heal you
Oh,
within an
okay.
instant if needed. Like,
Okay. And I'm
he's
saying
the GOAT.
going back to get that mushroom, going through them deer. You know them deer don't like you, and you still gonna go through there and do everything you can to save your guy, which ended up not saving your guy. Listen, you can't tell me that ain't a moment.
It is. I feel like all of them have had a moment like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like
But
the most conqueror moment that we had before we actually saw the glow up of Kobe was him just yelling at that one when Luffy and Zoro beat Captain Axam Morgans. Kobe was like, "Listen, I'm gonna be a part of the Marines." He told that Marine guy, stole him straight in his eyes, and we was like, "Yo." We look back at that one as that was a moment, and every Straw Hat had a moment 10 times more profound than that.
hey, if Haki is directly in line with will and dreams and all of this good stuff, right? And it allows like it's a power system that allows you to level up in the sense that anybody can get conquerors based on how much of a will they have to achieve said dreams, goals, be with friends, whatever it may be, right? Then like in my opinion, like although it might feel biased because I do love One Piece, it's got to be like number 1 in terms of power systems. Chakra has been great. Nen, very complicated but good. You got your Bankai's in Bleach, although I haven't watched much of Bleach, so don't skewer me on that. But I feel like other than Key, which is very balanced, I feel like Hockey might have the chance to be like the best one if it allows people to like grow within it. There's no limits to who can grow.
Hmm.
Although it could be hard because, so far it's been just, oh, only those born with Conqueror's Haki can, be the best. But who
Cause
knows? Maybe
I mean,
Kobe can break
because
that
I was always
stereotype.
a big fan of Devil Fruits, and I feel like Hockey got off to a rough start, but
Hmm.
now like anything Wano and beyond, I would say even the Katakuri fight and beyond, Hockey's just been it's becoming one of my favorites for sure. Um, it has and like it's still not even reaching the full potential because we can just see that there's going to be a lot with Shanks, Roger, and like Luffy, especially at the end.
Hmm.
So yeah, I kind of agree. Like hockey has a chance for me to be at the top, but I think with One Piece, how do you how do you factor in Devil Fruits now at this point?
Dude, I feel like,
Because I feel like it's all one thing, but they are separate. So it's kind of weird in One Piece because you got multiple power systems,
yeah, I don't know how Oda's gonna
and then you
do
have
it
like
because
the
if obviously they affect each other directly, or while Haki directly affects Devil Fruits, then in my mind they have to come from the same source in terms of power. So
yeah. I mean, like the Holy
there could
Knights,
be
they
a
might
third
not even
mysterious
have a
one.
Devil Fruit. That might be a third power system that we have now.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's
Also,
fine,
Gross
but
Stonks
it's
saying
interesting to me.
JJK power system was crazy. I like JJK's power system because it did well to like for different individuals to have like certain powers. Like it was very unique in the sense that it was very telling to showcase like, oh, this like individual or character has like this specific domain or this type of like power, which is very like specific on each and every single character. And I feel like that's what JJK
It
does
was
well.
very like you could tell he planned it out the basics really well, and then he just expanded from there.
Yeah. I mean, the whole Infinite Void, Hollow Purple, all that, it's great because it's very simple stuff, but fits very well with Gojo's character and everything. So I like JJKs, but One Piece has the chance to do something crazy with Haki and a new possible power. If they bring in a third power, what do you guys think it would be?
I
Like
think
in terms of
it's
like,
some kind of like black magic that we see with the Gorosei.
has to be something
Ooh,
like that. Some kind of devilish yokai type thing. That could be some type of factor. I
Some
don't
kind of
know.
ancient, yeah, some kind of ancient magic.
They could even do something with the I think it's called a Hagoromo, the cloud that Awakened Devil Fruit users have, the like cloud around Luffy and Lucci, that white cloud. Might have something
Oh,
to do with
the
that.
mystical cloud, yeah, like the
Yeah,
yep.
that could be something as well. I have no clue.
that would be crazy if that ended up being a part. That would be crazy.
I don't know
That
how,
that could
but
be
I feel like
something, yeah.
all of the most broken people are using it right now. Even Saturn, when he's shown in Egghead, like is full like technically I'm gonna call it yokai mode because like the whole spider thing. But when he's in that mode, right? If we're thinking that he doesn't have a devil fruit, like that's fine, but he has that Hagoromo around him. So I'm confused. I don't know what it could be.
And Killingham is the only villain with a light one. I have questions.
Yeah. But we'll take
Speaking of
a
him, bro,
quick like
one of my favorite panels is when he's on the dragon,
yes,
flying through Elbaf. Bro, this is gonna look
it
so
is
cool in
good.
the anime, man. I can't wait to see it.
Speaking of the anime popped off in this most recent episode. I don't know if anybody in chat saw the episode yet, but if you haven't, please go watch it in due time. It is amazing. And I feel like they really popped off with animation, all these things that we have been asking for One Piece to have, good fighting sequences, good like just overall sort of goofiness brought into these fights, bringing Gear Five's nature through to everything. It was a fun episode for sure. So if you haven't already, please go watch it.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
the
shout
one
out
thing I did see
to
was Kizaru, and the way they animated his devil fruit was really cool because it has like this
yes.
glowing effect to it. The way he's like
Hmm.
fading in and out, and then teleporting and doing all these clones and stuff. It was really cool.
No, they did a
It
good
was way
job with
better than the
this.
manga. Like sometimes the anime in One Piece really elevates it.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
because I feel like in some cases, there's a lot of times where in manga, like as much as like we love the lore, the story is amazing, we get to read all these different dialogues and stuff. It's hard to sort of picture what the author is trying to do with moves and fighting sequences and whatnot. So when it gets to that, it gets a bit confusing. But when you get to the anime, you get to appreciate everything at once. You get to appreciate the story, plot, fights, everything. It's just more played out. So I feel like
I
it's just much
mean,
better.
the way that Toei animated the end of Luffy Kaido and the end of Zoro King, like I don't understand people who talk down the anime. I understand. I hear y'all with the pacing. That's I respect. I respect the decision. I just see things a little bit differently, but I want them to do a little bit extra with the animation so that those 17 panels or pages that we get just feel so much more. And I feel like One Piece does a great job of that. What up, big Majin?
What's that?
Nothing much, just talking about in
Lakers.
general,
Did you watch the
yeah,
game?
and how they dropped the ball.
Yeah, I watched the game. I mean, they dropped the ball or they cheated. That's a different, that's the question. But it's all
I
good.
mean, that's a different discussion. But in general, we were talking about let's see, all the topics
Thought
we
y'all,
got.
I thought I heard One Piece, niggas. Y'all talking about the Lakers? What?
Now we were just talking about how the anime is doing well with fight sequences and whatnot, especially this episode.
Did you see the recent episode?
Not yet. I ain't gonna lie, I just walked in the house, right? So I'm eating. I'm here. I'm gonna finish this
Hey,
bowl of spaghetti, then I'll be engaged. But
Chad,
yeah,
if you can spam W's because the dedication is crazy. Walked into the house and got on stream.
Talk that talk.
I think one of my
But
favorite things from this chapter was the way Oda set up Gabon to fight in this battle where, it's kind of a cool moment where he's calling out the names and everything, but I feel like that was clearly a setup for Gabon to go and fight for his son and fight the
Yeah.
Holy Knights. Like that was clearly for Gabon. But
Also, I
that
feel
was
like
really
now
cool
it's
because
much more
there's a lot of
personable.
anticipation right now. Yep, it's more personal. That fight's gonna be really fun, man. Like, I do think it's gonna be next chapter when we see Gabon fighting Holy Knights.
I mean, hell, based on what Oda
Nah,
does, it could be either like 5 chapters away. It could be right now. Who knows?
Because I
it's
think
going to
he's
be
too
the chapter
far, right?
afterwards. I feel like the next chapter is going to be focusing on them kids because now that we got introductions, we got to learn a little bit of their personalities outside of just the one-liners they gave us. I think there's going to be focusing on the Elbaf community altogether. Fact of the matter is, Summers just gave everybody an ultimatum, but he only really gave it to one person. So I think it's going to be a lot of battling with, Elbaf. We started, that Nika is the god of liberation. No, he's the god of destruction. And now we got these people. No, we got to save the kids. No, we got to. I think it's just going to be a 50-50 toss up, just like we started off with everybody not being sure about Nika. Everybody's not going to be sure how to move throughout this chapter. And then, like, Gabon pulling up to Summers, I imagine that's how the chapter's going to end.
See, I'm thinking the same wavelength, but more so it's gonna, move back to Loki and Luffy, get some lore
Mm.
talk through them, get like some conversations going, figure out what happened really between Haryudin, King Harold, and Loki, what actually transpired, and then reasons why the Gods Knights are actually trying to go for Elbaf's whole population as like pretty much battle slaves at this point. And then towards the end we'll get that flash to Scopper going up against Summers.
Oh wait, so this panel when he's on the dragon, it's like the thorn thing, right? It's not.
The Thorn Dragon. I love the Summers, yo.
Yeah.
Cause for a second I thought it was what's the guy's name? The Dragon Holy Knight. Then I
Oh,
remember, but then I remember
the
he was
Killingham.
also on the.
yeah.
He had the thorn thing, yeah.
Man, I still can't remember the name. I feel like that's the hardest thing about One Piece is remembering every
Too
single
many
new character's
characters,
name.
yeah.
Yeah. But other than
So,
that,
what are we expecting the Giants to want to do? Are we like the Elbaf is a new culture now. They're a land of peace. They're trading with people. So I imagine a lot of these people on the island are going to be like, "Yo, we got to acquiesce to their demands, and we got to save the children." But I imagine maybe a smaller amount. But some Giants going to be like, "Man, we got to fight for our kids." What y'all expecting?
see, what I'm thinking is that Scopper is gonna do the latter. He's gonna try to fight for, these kids. Obviously, because one of his kids is literally like being kidnapped as we speak. So I think there's like no choice but to go after these God's Knights. And I feel that Scopper's gonna be the first one to sort of figure out that, you know what, we gotta go after the God's Knights first and figure out how to damage them, because if we damage them even a little bit, then their devil fruits or whatever powers that they're using is going to be, affected in some way. And that saves the kids, which saves everyone else, which then saves their library and everything. So it sort of becomes a domino effect. So it all starts with how to damage the God's Knight.
Do y'all think Summers was at God's Valley?
Shit, they all could have been other than Garland.
He might have been, bro. There was
I don't know about
'Cause I'm,
Gunkko, but I
I'm
feel like
wondering
the
if
others
like
could have been.
Gabon and Summers are gonna walk up on each other and be like, "Oh, I remember you from back then," you know?
yeah, that'd
They
be
really
cool.
could easily do that.
I hope that's the case.
Also, speaking of Sanji getting Conqueror's Haki, that was the one thing I wanted to talk about, which is if there's somehow a way to hurt the God's Knights, because we were talking about it before with Conqueror's Haki. I think that it's now or never for Scopper to show that he has Conqueror's Haki. If he does, then it's very telling, and it's a huge dub for Sanji too, if we want to show that parallel of him getting Conqueror's Haki too.
So
But
Gabon conquers Haki is not confirmed.
it's not confirmed, but if it will happen, it's now or never.
Y'all can't tell me that Scopper ain't got conquerors. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like it seems it's almost confirmed in my mind, but
Same here. I feel like if
the
he wants to
way he
face
was
off against
fighting
Zoro
against
and
Luffy,
Luffy,
yeah, bro. The way
yeah,
when he was introduced is like That's a Conqueror to me.
Bro, we saw you can't have on old Roger's ship Scopper, Rayleigh, and Gabon, and then Odin be the other guy. He got conquerors, and then it's still those guys as the top three. Like, nah, Scopper has conquerors. It's not even a discussion as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
it's
his
gotta be
energy is like
something.
a Conqueror energy.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if he does, now's the time to show it, and now's the time to showcase how the Gods Knights can be uh damaged and like tackled. Which is also why I think that Dragon is aiming to go for the Gods Knight specifically, because if obviously Dragon has Conqueror's Haki with this whole like Monkey D situation, like family, everybody has it. So if Dragon has Conqueror's Haki, right, then he's probably aiming to use it so that whenever the God's Knights appear and show up, that's when he can combat it and like sort of stalemate the situation with his Conqueror's Haki.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
If that's the only solution.
So okay, so we got to predict now. Gabon, we think will get Conquerors. What about Sanji? You think he'll get it this arc?
Let me teach y'all something real quick, right?
Oh,
I got Oda's notes. How it sound, by the way? Hold
a little
on,
distant, but
Tony.
you clear.
You sound
Little off, but other than that, I think
Let
you
me
good.
turn it up.
that's good now.
How about now?
No, that's good. That's good.
Now you're good.
Perfect.
All right. First of all, Tornado, Rayleigh been sitting getting sold into slavery, getting drunk for the
It's
last
like, bro,
20 years.
Kaido,
Let's stop that.
possibly Mihawk, Akainu, like all the conquerors. You know you're a conqueror for real when you ain't got to make no moves.
Exactly. Now let me tell y'all something. Conqueror's Haki, Oda lied to us about you having to be. Actually, it's never actually stated
I'm sorry, but
in the story.
a conqueror wants to conquer the world, but they already did. Like Roger's crew conquered the world like 40 years ago, 30 years ago, whenever it was.
Twice.
Yeah,
Your boy is a fucking bomb and she's a conqueror. Like, come on. But anyway, even don't Flamingo, come on now. But regardless.
Yeah, we can do this all day.
We really could.
Oda lied to us about Conqueror's
Don
Haki.
Chinjao, bro.
Oh, turn it down a little bit. I got you. What we looking like now, chat? I can't turn it
It's
down
fine.
and
It's
talk
good.
louder.
No, it's good.
Whatever.
I think you're good for now. But go ahead. Talk your talk.
Awakening a devil fruit is that's the hints behind your mind catching up to your fruit or whatever. I think that those same core values will lead to how people unlock Conqueror's Haki. When you truly awaken your spirit and who you are as a person is when you can unlock Conqueror's Haki. Like I said, the idea that you have to be born with it, I don't think that's ever actually stated in the story. It's just said that Luffy was born with it. That doesn't mean that you have to be. I think that when Sanji, this arc, and Usopp as well, this arc, finally become in tune with who they are as people, is when they will unlock Conqueror's Haki. Some people get it early, some people get it late. As you can tell, Ace was using Conquerors as a kid. Luffy didn't use it until he was a teenager when he had to go through hardships and learn what to be a captain really was. Ace is a more natural conqueror than Luffy. So, with all that said, Sanji Conqueror's Haki 2025. Buy the stocks. If Usopp get it, that's a plus or whatever. But be
Okay.
cooking. I might make a video
Usopp,
on it.
Sanji, Gabon. What about
I can actually
Sabo?
see your point.
Because okay, do you think Sabo, if Dragon shows up, do you think Sabo shows up? Or do you think it's just
It's not
Dragon
necessary,
kind
but
of
it's
walks
possible.
in on his own?
I can see him coming. The reason why, if Dragon really does have a wind devil fruit, then he can have an excuse to be able to travel anywhere at any point, right?
Yeah.
Now, even if his and Sabo, I guess you could say the same with the flame fruit, but wind is like more natural movement than using fire to propel yourself.
I could see
Alright.
Dragon kind of like entering the battle, but then the revolutionaries come in like a few chapters later. They're not there right away, but they join the battle eventually.
So,
Well, I do agree with Crow in the sense that like being like Echo is also saying in chat, like emotionally ready is like a very big thing because Ace, right? Like from the jump, because people hated his dad, he wanted to see what the reaction was to like, oh, if Roger ever had a kid, what would they do? And then everyone in the entire world has been saying like he doesn't deserve to exist. You know, they should hang him, like kill him, like like all these other things, and he had to go up against the world from a very young age. Whereas Luffy, he just wanted to be with his brothers and just like hang out and have fun with them. So he didn't really have any turmoil to go through until like actually setting out to sea. So
Mhm.
that makes sense why Ace unlocked it earlier.
Because
So
if you really think about it, the idea of having to be born with Conqueror's Haki is hypocritical to the, or contradictory, I guess, to the essence of what a conqueror truly is.
And the whole
I
story.
feel.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
whole story.
Like, it's all about freedom and wanting to carve your own path in the world, but you're born with it,
Yeah, but
and you're
the
kind of
thing is,
forced down
I
that
kind
path
of
at the same
agree.
time.
But
Like,
one thing I'll say is, I think there's like an energy shift that needs to happen. Yeah, I think you could.
yeah, it's like
because
it's like awakening your devil
and
fruit
that's
is
why I don't see
unlocking Conqueror's
Kobe
Haki.
having conquerors still, even at
Oh
this
my
point.
god,
Bro,
bro!
his energy is not a conquer energy. It's like, and I'm not saying he can't get there, but he needs to be more Garp like, or more of a warrior mindset where like Kobe is still very soft and very naive.
See, I think that's what we're gonna get post Hachinosu, especially with Kobe trying to be like, "Yo, I need to stop Luffy from achieving his dream." I think that's where we get to see it. Also, Crow, we were talking about it earlier. What do you think is the possibility of every single Straw Hat getting Conqueror's Haki?
Oh fuck no! Chopper
Chopper.
Conqueror's Haki.
The kind of
Chopper for Conqueror, indeed.
Hey,
I
Chopper
said it.
Conqueror, bro.
I like the
I can't see
idea,
Nami. I
and
can't see Chopper.
Jalen Kuiper says all of them can't have conquerors because of a rocks type situation. I think that what would make Luffy different, and the reason why there will be more conquerors on the crew, but not everybody. But what makes Luffy different from rocks, and what also makes Roger different from the rocks, is the power to actually conquer conquerors. Like that's what makes them stand up against. I mean, stand above people like rocks, Whitebeard. Because they're
Nah.
able to bring people like Zoro, who by all means should probably have his own, you know what I'm saying, his own crew and be a supernova or a Yonko. You know, he should be in that Law and Kid realm himself. Sanji would be a supernova on his own, even though he's not. It's obvious that, you know, he is stronger. Well, Sanji done beat up 2 supernovas, right?
I mean, technically.
Drake, right? He beat Drake, and then what was the other
But
one?
hey, shout out to Flevins for not only a $20 dono, but also 10 gifted memberships. Shout out to Flevins. And he said chapter was fire, and I'm waiting for my wife Robin to step up to the bat. She will, don't worry. CDL training at work for 2 weeks. I'll probably be out of commission for a little. Send me your spirit ball energy. See y'all on the other side. And a bunch
Hey,
of,
man, good luck.
wildly beasts that don't need to be mentioned. But
Good luck,
yeah,
man. My partner, my
shout out
best
to
friend
Flevins,
got
man, so much.
my best friend got his CDL. That man making 6 figures and living life, bro. Look, you know what I'm saying. Good luck,
Stop
man. It's a
doing
great
hot
way to
dogs,
get in.
Flevins.
Nah, that's what boys, because yeah, that's what y'all boys eat. Y'all
That's
love
what he
dogs.
knows,
Cut it
bro.
out.
He's cooking up.
But yeah, without, you know, Luffy, I can see Sanji and Zoro both being like, basically, I feel like Kid and Law are what Sanji and Zoro would be if they weren't on the Straw Hat crew.
Zoro would definitely be missing an arm.
Oh,
He would be, Zoro is Kid and Law is Sanji. And that's, I mean, if Sanji never gets conquerors, you know, it doesn't matter. And then here's another, like, I guess a counterpoint to like, oh, Flevins with another 10. Appreciate
10
it.
gifted.
Like, people gonna be like, if
Flevin.
Gabon got conquerors, then Sanji has to get it. But I mean, you also gotta look at, I don't think Gabon is like a modified human that can light himself on fire. So that might be all to say, well, Sanji don't need conquerors because he has this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just leaving alternatives. But shout out to Double O Flevins, man, the GOAT himself. I love when I go to Moore's stream and I see some familiar names in there. I love it. Shout out to Mega T. Yes, sir. The
I'll let you read
Sanji
this one.
stocks. This is
Bacon
the
is
money
worse
for the
than hot
Sanji
dogs.
stocks and to support the anti-Boer agendas. Jinbe sucks. Facts.
Jinbe does suck, bro. I can't even defend him anymore. At
Nah,
this point.
hey, no, Crow, we were talking about it. We couldn't defend him no more. Like, Jinbe most definitely dropped the fucking ball this chapter. Even Nami told him.
Bro, the last 100 chapters, he hasn't done anything.
Anything.
That's ridiculous, bro. Man, something that's tied up by come on, bro. And the 10 piece from Mega T. You You see it, bro.
What are y'all trying to
Playing with the goat.
You
prove?
splash some water.
Damn. Flashing bread.
This is what we do, bro. This is what we do.
Just matching the top man's energy. That's
Oh,
stop
God.
playing.
Oh my god. Oh god. 50
All
proof
right,
lemons.
I'm not reading it.
The
I'm not
lore is
reading it, but
long.
I'm gonna let somebody else. Read it.
I mean, shoot. I don't know if War Creek can beat Law, but hey, who knows?
I can't wait for it when
But yeah, man.
when we see the boar return for JJ.
Oh yeah.
That's
That's
the
the
last.
last-
That's the last thing y'all need. That's the last.
gonna
Because
need-
my listen, man. He just
You
wanted to
better
handle some
pray.
light work at ACAD. He got snuffed by that Sprite can. Now everybody like besmirching his good name. Like when he pop up and he show y'all the awakening of the board, and he just running around hybrid board, it's over.
Nah, I think
You
we
better
need to
pray
get
that
a whole
Dragon
reaction
ain't pulling up.
thing set up for Egghead, for War Creek Egghead by the time he shows up. I feel like that would be good. Chat, what y'all
Man,
feel
you
about
better
that?
pray that the chapter that board comes back. Dragon ain't lagging right
Yeah,
behind.
that's
It's
a
gonna look
Dragon.
nasty.
That's the only option. That's the only option.
So
in the
that is, I
whole
gotta
planet.
apologize to you. I can't even know. Yeah, don't joke about it. That should have never been a joke. Oda is a twisted man for even doing that. Y'all don't know how I've been fighting for my life ever since. Like, I used to love Jinbe so much, bro. But then he did this whole bounty BS.
But why would I don't
I'm
get
like,
why
come
he
on,
would do
bro.
that bounty thing if he's gonna just have Jinbe sidelined.
Jinbe suck, yeah.
I think he's trying to like. It's a joke. Oda Sanji is the character that Oda has fun with. Man, shout out to
Beavers,
Mega T.
Mega T going
Works.
crazy.
Shout out to Mega T.
God damn! Shout out to Mega T. Oh
fuck
Mega
that.
T
god.
and Flevins going back and forth.
And that's all for Sanji stocks, by the way. Just putting it out there.
This is band for band right here. God damn.
Where my PayPal at?
Shout out to the greatest of all. Mega T been with us since we had Sabo on the stream, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh my bro.
By the way,
I almost forgot about Sabo.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
Let's go, my God.
Yo. Yo, cut
The
the
pig-
screen,
the
bro.
pig
We
ain't
done.
worth
Oh
it.
shit. Damn.
Look where you started, JJ.
I
You
know.
started
Somebody
a
just
war in the
outside.
chat. You started a super chat war.
Listen, if this is what war is, we don't need no peace. You hear me?
Hey, shout out to the
shout out
United
to these
States.
boys, man. Them are two definitely most generous donors, I would say. And we love
Easily.
them for that.
No, but they really do show out probably every stream. So if y'all can show them support in the chat, because every single stream they're here, they're showing love. Even when they're like not donating, they're always in chat, just talking it up. You know, making sure chat's lively, going through topics, making sure even we, if we're stumped and we can't think of shit to talk about, they're always there. So shout out to Mega T and Flevins, man.
It's just crazy. Like Mega said, he woke up just as the stream started. Like just to be waking up, just to be hating on people, just being proud of their own thing. That say a lot about you. I'm just saying.
He a real
Hey.
man.
Hey, I fuck with
Everybody
A
wake
real
up with a
man.
little. Everybody wake up with a little malice in their heart. You know what I'm saying? He just
Hanging that
trying-
breath fix is crazy.
Hey, you got some malice
Oh.
for Jackson Hayes, Krow.
Well,
Oh.
I'm pissed off, but that nigga does.
Don't even get started on that.
He needs to be physically harmed. You know
We
what I'm
gonna
saying?
say that to the end. We gonna say that to the end. Let me ask y'all this.
So,
We're at the point I feel like where we should be wrapping up this Yamato cover story. Do we think we're gonna get anything else to go with this story, or are we gonna be moving on to something else? What do y'all think?
I've been ready for it, Tim, but unfortunately, I think Oda's gonna have something more planned with Yamato.
How long has Oda
this
been
shit-
doing this for? I feel like he's
It
been
just
doing
seems
this for the past,
underwhelming, like, if we
50
what
ending
was
it
years.
like
the
this.
initial goal? What was the original goal of the stream? I mean, of the not the stream.
I think it was
the
just
cover
for
story.
her to explore Wano, like how Odin
Just
explored
Odin's
Wano.
pilgrimage and whatnot.
Yeah.
She got to take a sword to somebody to remember.
And I guess I kind of get it because now she's building her crew where like she has
They.
OTs.
I'm sorry.
They has a crew.
Come here, man.
So this is chapter 32 in regards of how long he been doing this cover story. I was watching the Straw Hat Sit Down. Shout out to them boys. Make sure y'all to subscribe to them. They said the longest cover story, I don't remember which one they said, but they said the longest cover story was 48 chapters. So there is precedent for a cover story to be longer than this. And then, like I said, I'm still expecting Blackbeard to do something in regards to Wano. So I would hope that would find a way into the cover story one way or another.
Same here. I still am very heavily on the proponent of the fact that because Blackbeard now knows through Caribou both of the ancient weapon locations and the fact that both of them simultaneously happen to be under Luffy's control, technically control, but I feel like that's going to be a huge thing in Blackbeard's plan in the sense that he's going to have to, or he's going to make Luffy like force a choice that like, okay, you like I'm gonna attack both places, but you gotta save one. Which one are you gonna choose first? And like that whole like evil scenario. Like if y'all remember, if you watch Spider-Man or the OG one, when Green Goblin had that like car, like a train full of kids holding from one side, and then had MJ on the other, made Spider-Man choose. Same deal. I feel like he's gonna do the same thing. So Blackbeard's about to be ready to be a menace, so we just gotta wait on that. What y'all think?
I mean, I hope we see Blackbeard in this cover story, but I don't know. I feel like I think Blackbeard is a bit. I always thought he would join in, but I feel like he's a bit too much now. Like Blackbeard being saved so much, and I don't know if Oda's ready to introduce him in a cover story in this way. Maybe like one of his commanders will show up or something, but I don't know.
Who have we
bro.
not seen from his crew lately? Like really show out. Was Burgess there when
Burgess,
Garp
yeah,
went?
I was thinking Burgess. Who else? Do we see
You know,
Doc Q?
Lafitte's at the bottom of Marijois.
Mm-hmm.
We know about 5 of them are still at Pirate Island. We know. I imagine everybody else will still be at Pirate Island because Blackbeard came back once they captured Garp.
I think Burgess is the only one we're not sure where he at. If Yamato loses to Burgess, man, it's some uncomfortable conversations to be had.
At that point, like we have to, yeah.
Yeah, man, it does make
Why
sense.
would we not
for
know where
Blackbeard
Burgess
to,
is at though?
Was he there when Blackbeard got back?
Oh,
We
Man,
gotta
hold on.
double check on that.
Mr. Nine says, I never understood why Blackbeard would need an ancient weapon as fruit. Because he's greedy.
It's a power thing.
That's how it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Blackbeard.
he got to
The
stack the deck.
antithesis
Right
of Luffy. Luffy
don't
never
want
It's
to
like
be
used
no
a
Blackbeard
weapon.
is
question.
greedy. He had one of the best fruits, and then he wanted another one.
Yeah.
Okiji might come to
He
Elbaf.
wants to have his
Actually,
own island. You need as many bargaining chips to bring to as possible. If you don't make me king, I'm going to wreck shit.
I actually think Okiji is coming to Elbaf considering the characters here.
Also, I feel like Blackbeard has something secret
Haki?
going on with Gecko Moria. I just don't
Saul.
know what. I feel like
So,
Gecko Moria about to make the most annoying ass comeback in some
Dragon
way. and it's
versus
just no
Aokiji?
question.
Dragon versus Okiji is not a worthy opponent, bro.
No, I think Aokiji's not like hype enough for Dragon to go up against. As Dragon
Unless you like one shot him or something, it's over with.
I feel like it's got to be either a Kainu, like crazy God Knight, like Shamrock, or even Garling himself.
What do you think? What do you think Dragon relationship with Garp is?
I think it's distant, but they
Dragon's
respect. I think that Garp respects his decision, but he can't talk to him for obvious reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they do talk. They talked at the. He said that he ran into him and they was talking at the end of Indy's lobby.
No, he just said I heard that.
No, he was telling Luffy that like,
old man.
Yeah,
but that could have been like.
That was just Luffy like getting saved by Dragon in Logtown. But I will say, how does
why was Dragon saving this kid?
No, but JJ does have a point that how does Garp know that Dragon saved Luffy?
Because Smoker.
People theorize.
No, but Smoker didn't know. Smoker didn't know until
Smoker talked to Dragon at Logtown.
Like,
No,
he looked
yeah,
up. He
but
was
he
like,
didn't
"Why
know
are
it
you
was
doing
Dragon
this?"
until that Luffy was Dragon's father until Marineford.
Yeah, but
Or
you know,
maybe
it's
that
Okay,
still
but that
he could
Dragon
probably
was the
figure it
one
out
that did
when.
the work,
I'm
and
just
then
saying, if I'm,
Dragon. I
let's
mean,
say,
Garp with his own sense would put it together himself.
yeah.
Oh, so
Like
so
Smoker
maybe
just be
Smoker
like,
was like, oh yeah, Dragon saved Luffy for some reason. I don't know why the
yeah,
revolutionaries want to
yeah,
dabble with him. And then
exactly.
Garb was like, oh, you know what? I know.
Yeah, this
That's
motherfucker.
probably
That's
what it
probably what
was.
Gardner said. Get a load of this guy. You think
Also,
Dragon coming
speaking
to
of which,
Elbaf on the side of the world? I mean, like I said, if Dragon has a win fruit, then that's an excuse to get him anywhere you need him to be pretty much instantly.
exactly.
Well, not instantly, but he can fly. With a win,
But it is
we can
very
assume he can
helpful,
fly
I'd
with a
say.
win fruit, right?
Yeah, he could fly.
I'd say so, considering the fact that when he saved Sabo, he was literally
I mean,
levitating
in the
when he
anime,
got
he's
onto the
like
ship.
teleporting across Logtown, like flying
Yeah.
almost.
If Garp can travel instantaneously, and I mean, if Dragon can travel instantaneously, and he's been like waiting for other people to do revolutions when he got the strength to make it happen himself, I'm gonna be looking at him a little funny. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But we don't know that he hasn't been fighting in these revolutions though. That could be like the whole thing. Like we always assume that Dragon doesn't do nothing, but all of these different revolutions going on all over the world, and his way to get there could have been his win fruit to always be able to be within the helping hand if necessary.
That would make sense.
I just hope that's the case.
See, if that's the case though, like I wonder what he like had in terms of information for Alabasta's revolution. And like maybe he already like tried to deal with Crocodile and like he was about to, but then Luffy already took care of it.
Is that
And
one
then
that
like
he wasn't involved? Like was the Revs them that had their own independent revolutionary group, so I can see why he wouldn't be involved in that one.
no, but even in general, I feel like Dragon probably keeps tabs on every single country to see whether they're revolting or not against their current regime.
Who was
Does Dragon say he doesn't like to fight, or because I know he said he doesn't like war, or Vegapunk
yeah,
said.
I don't think it's
No.
Yeah,
Dragon
I say
said
a pacifist.
when he was talking to Vegapunk, right?
Yeah, he said he used to be a pacifist or something.
Yeah.
And
I
now
think that he doesn't like senseless violence. That's what it is. But to be a leader of an organization that is literally war centric, you have to, you know what I'm saying, be able to fight.
See, I think that there's a difference between being adept at different types of war and like mechanics and whatnot versus actually like enjoying it and like profiting or like
Yeah.
doing something off of it. I think
Yeah,
like
I think
the whole point is that it's the
Dragon
war
is
to
a
end the war.
socialist. He's a socialist,
and
man.
just
He
because Dragon
wants
doesn't
the
like to
power is in the
fight
people.
necessarily, like there's a point where I think Dragon realized he had to fight.
I don't think
it's
Shanks
more
likes to
important
fight
than what he
either.
wants. It's yeah, exactly. Like Shanks, I don't know. I think maybe Shanks does like to fight.
I think when he was younger,
mean,
he did.
We
Like
know
when he was
Oda was
doing the
reading
Mihawk
things
and
from
stuff.
Che Guevara and
Shanks
then
don't like to punch down.
hey,
He told
you have
Vegapunk
a
he doesn't
point
like
there.
to fight. I don't think Dragon likes senseless violence or senseless fighting. Like, I think there is intention behind everything he does. Like he might not like him not liking to fight. I mean, he was literally a member of the Marines. Like he's been in a situation where he has to fight.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's because we're assuming that he made it. We know we can assume at least vice admiral. I want to say he was an admiral. Like he had to fight, but because I think the reason why I think admiral is because we was like, I couldn't find my justice, or at least vice admiral, because every vice admiral has their own brand of justice. You know what I'm saying?
See, I think that somehow, I don't know if it's an admiral per se, but I think that he had a very high ranking position in either the Navy or the world government. And somehow it's tied with Akainu and also Fujitora. Because I've always had this sneaking suspicion that whatever Fujitora saw that he had to blind himself, like it's somehow connected to Dragon and Dragon leaving and also Akainu and just the whole like situation. I don't know. But I feel like there's
I think
somehow
that
linked together.
Akainu was probably always the way that Vegeta is constantly jealous of Goku and comparing himself to him is
Mhm.
what Akainu was to Dragon.
To Dragon. Yeah.
Like they probably joined around the same time, and Dragon they rose up through the ranks together. But it always seemed like Dragon was a step ahead of him, and that probably enraged Akainu because like no matter what I do, I can't like be on the same level as this dude. Like what makes him so special? He probably
Yeah,
getting
Dragon. If
like,
Dragon was a Marine, he probably also had a little bit of bias if he's Garp's son too.
yeah, but at the same time, I can see Garp making things harder for him to get up through the ranks just
I
because the
think
type of person
Garp
Garp
for
is.
sure, but just as far as like the perception, do
And that's probably what
through everyone
Akinu was
else.
like. Oh, if he wasn't Garp's son, he wouldn't be in this situation. Like, that's probably how Akinu was feeling.
Yeah.
But in reality, Dragon was just better. Like,
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Can't wait for
once Dragon got to
bro.
the top, and probably when he got offered the Admiral position, but it was like, but to do this, you have to be like basically the Celestial Dragon supporter. He's like, fuck that. This is where the problem lies. I'm not gonna do that. So
Crow, you came up with the
That's
title.
where he
Do
had
you
to
think
split.
Brooke is a holy knight?
no, I
address
don't.
the
I
title,
just think
huh?
it was cool clickbait.
Hey, we didn't clickbait y'all. We said the title. Hey.
I don't
It was
think
a funny
that at all.
title.
Yeah. I literally do not think that a single ounce of him being a holy knight is a possibility. But it was a cool title. I don't know where I saw somebody talking about it. I was like, you know what? That's a cool idea. And I didn't say he was for a certain kingdom. He was like, he was a peace officer? No, that's Lafitte.
No, he was
something before he became
something
a
of
pirate.
a battalion leader or something like that.
So
Yeah,
I can
something
see
for
a
the whole country.
situation. Yeah, we don't know the name of the country or none of that. I can see a situation where, like, he was approached, maybe similar to Loki, but Brook ain't strong enough for nobody to want him to join the Holy Knights.
Yeah.
So what if there was a situation where he had to work with the Holy Knights at one point, and that's kind of when he left and became a pirate? Or this is far-fetched.
This is
Brook's
Brooke's ex-girlfriend.
island was chosen for one of the Celestial Dragons God Valley things they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he came to figure out who the Holy Knights were, and that's when he escaped. I don't know. I'm just throwing
That'd be
shit out there.
crazy.
There's definitely. I feel like they've met many times before. This is not like
Brooke and Gunkko or just Brooke and Holy
Brook
Knights?
and Gunkko for sure.
Yeah.
But then the question,
Man, Gunkko no Brook.
the question is then like,
Another thing.
And
well, I guess Brooke is a
My bad,
famous
my bad.
rock star, and she does want him for the music, but I don't know, bro. I feel like there's a more deeper connection.
No. The fact that
I'm talking about her kicking him and then reacting, holding her heart. Like, she know Brook.
No,
I
I
think
think that
some
like
I
if
saw
it was just a
cool was-
fan, it would have been cool with like the interactions that she's giving out now, like become my like slave for music and whatnot. Like that's all cool, but the fact that Brooke is also reacting back, saying, that woman, no, it couldn't be. They have to have some type of relationship in some way, where they know each other.
I think a cool thing I saw was that Gunkko was literally dead, and when she hit Brooke, he felt like the feeling of another dead person. He's like, is that woman like his reaction like that woman? No, she can't be dead. We talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do the Celestial Dragons have to die in order to get that immortality?
Shoot.
I'm thinking maybe they got to give up her soul, but like her kicking the Soul King, like made her heart like flood, like it affected a little bit of soul she still had within her.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and that's why I said
Same line.
that's the cool thing. We talked about it earlier. It's very personal for her when Brooke is telling her that he'd rather die.
Yeah.
Because she's
Gunkko
immortal.
might be the princess he wants guarded. That's cool.
And
too.
so far, Gunko's very like attached to the whole idea of rank, status, being immortal, being a god's knight, all of that.
Tornado says he
protect
hopes
all that.
Gunkko isn't a clone of Jenny or someone. Why you say you hope not? I'm curious. I'm indifferent to it. I don't really care. I just think Gunkko is going to be important, though.
Starhide
Yeah, that's
quickly
another
said,
thing. Ghost
Gunko is
Stumps
Brooks
brought up
and Ball.
something. That's funny.
Giant Mother
Ghost
said,
Stumps
hey.
brought up something I was thinking about, though. Summers is old as hell. but he's also, we're assuming he's immortal too, right? So do
Yeah.
we think he just didn't get that immortality until he got old? Or do we think that these people still age? Because Shanks' brother is also like seemingly the same age as Shanks, so we can assume that you still age once you get the immortality, right?
I mean, the
Depending on
same
when he got
goes
it.
for Garling, right?
Yeah, Garland,
is
Yeah,
but
that's
fully
what I'm
even
looking at
Garland,
him compared to Garland.
But
yeah, exactly. So
So
the idea that they don't age was kind of what we was hanging on, what people were hanging on with Jupiter, why he looked younger than everybody else, right?
I think it might just be like a regeneration thing in the sense that like it's not like they can't age, like it's not like an immortality thing, but it's like uh when Katakuri was getting hit, and we thought that like he could easily like reabsorb himself in Mochi and like go back to normal because we thought he was a Logia. Like, what if they are just like real life Logias, but they don't have any element? That's just who they are.
if they do age, that's an interesting idea for Emu because, I mean, Emu will look very strange. If
Yeah,
he's
Or what if every
1,000
time they
years
have to
old.
use the immortality, they get older?
that could also work too. Which in that case, it makes a lot of sense why Garling loves battle, loves trying to fight, and he's so old as he is now.
And Summers is also seems to
Summer,
be a
same thing.
decorated veteran, so he's been around
Yeah,
for a while, so he's been aging through it, but like he hasn't,
I mean that
Gorosei
that, that
might be the
actually makes
ones who.
sense. Also, wait, actually, I
Yeah,
like
that's a
this
good point.
theory
Ghost Stones, he
because
says Gorosei might be the only ones that don't age. That's possible, but I'm sticking with this. What you were saying,
no,
Freak?
I do like it though that like when they regen they age because Shamrock, right? He's the same age as Shanks, but I think that they made that the case because they also say that he can't stay or be near politics, Shamrock specifically. And I think that's because of Shanks's public image and the fact that if they saw that Shanks had a twin that was in the world government, the whole world would shatter. So that's why he's always hidden, and I feel like that's probably also why he has a vendetta against Shanks in some way that like if I can take out Shanks, then I can finally like go about the world and do my own thing because I'm sure he feels restricted in some way that like because of political reasons he literally can't do anything.
The certain pirate, or what we assuming that is?
Whew.
I
I
don't think it's
mean,
Shanks, because I mean,
Blackbeard.
like,
I
I
think
don't
it's
think it's a
Loki.
big. I don't think it's a. Yeah, I think it's Loki because like he could have been like, I want to talk to you about a certain pirate, and they're like, who? He's like Loki. I need to go recruit him to the Gods Knights. That's what I'm thinking. The conversation.
Yeah. I think that
Yeah.
it's Loki. They were trying to recruit him. They're trying to get all the Elbaf giants for the last war, and then also figure out how to like, turn it on Shanks as well, so that Shamrock could get freedom. That's why Shamrock came with the proposal, as well as the whole special bounty thing with Loki. Like, why does Loki have a specific set specialized bounty? Doesn't make sense.
That's a good point, Tornado, about the good-looking females always switching to the straw hats. Yeah, man. Let's get some evil, good-looking women. Just leave it at that. I think the
I
certain
mean,
pirates is either Loki or Bunny, though. I mean, I don't think it's like a Yonko because, like, if we talking about somebody famous, like, I wouldn't pull up like, "Hey, I want to talk about a certain basketball player," and I'm talking about fucking LeBron James, some shit. You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
I feel like it's not someone too obvious. It's someone that's hidden that like it's like a special thing. And I feel like Loki
Mhm.
fits that description.
Yeah, because he got a special bounty, right?
Yeah, not just that, but he has special lineage, so much to offer, like lots of power. He's the last of his race. Like he has a
Mm.
lot of like pull, whether it's good or
Well, that
bad
little girl
within
got ancient giant
Elbaf.
horns. Y'all seen her?
Oh,
Y'all
the
talking
Joanna,
it,
about that?
Joanna.
Y'all talking about that?
Nah, not yet.
I
Not
think people
yet.
was trying to
what's
say
her
that's
name?
Loki's daughter. I don't think that's
Yeah,
the case.
Joanna or something like that.
Johanna.
Yeah.
I
Johanna.
would rather that be Loki's little sister than her daughter. His daughter, I mean.
I mean, that would make sense.
I mean, she could be daggone 25 years old. You know how they do in Elbaf.
That is true.
Is Ja Rule, he an ancient giant, right?
Yup.
I mean, it could be. Is that his granddaughter that was talking about? Or was it another
Nah,
one?
nah.
Nah, the very first one was his granddaughter's granddaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grand. Damn. God.
And the
damn.
bent kid, the fun. I like the writing in the story. The bent kid that's next to her in the one, I mean, next to Johanna, he's the one who drew the initial picture of the mom that messed up everything for the Giants eventually. And you see, he's even talking about my mommy's going to yell at me. He's getting taken captive, and he's still worried about getting yelled at by his mama. We got to check the parenting in Elbaf. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we need some goddamn. What you call them? Dang,
VFAX,
the people that pull up to
CFS.
Child Protective Services, CPS.
CPS,
Yes,
yeah. I was trying to figure out what y'all was trying to say. But yeah, too many tiger moms in Elbaf, bro.
Golly. Cougars, not tigers. Let me see.
A lot of people are doing the correlation of this may be Colin's crew once he decides to become a pirate of his own. How y'all feeling with that?
I mean, that would make
I like
sense.
that, and I want to go through the kids. That's why I was trying to pull it up. I want to go through the kids and try to match them up with who the Straw Hats are, but I can't because most of all of them are just acting like cowards.
I mean, I feel like the only ones that aren't acting as cowards is this one dude. His name's Scotty, I think. The one with the horns.
Mug too.
He's chilling. He's just saying we're helpless. So I don't think he's scared.
Zoro.
Colleen just saying that she has bad luck.
Ranja, that's my favorite. Just off the gap and the positive energy, that's my favorite. Ranja.
The ones that's not scary, go ahead and get them out the way. Scotty is Zoro, all right? He got horns too? Or is that a part of his hat? Do he got horns?
I can't tell.
I can't tell either.
Both of those guys look like they got them.
Yeah, I think that's a hat from Olaf for sure.
Yeah.
I'm confident. That probably is a hat from Scotty.
That could be his widow's peak. You know, his hairline.
Also, what's his name? Bjorn? Bjorn looks like spoof Sanji.
Yeah, but he's scared. Sanji ain't scared, you know what I'm saying?
At least Sanji was.
Come on, man. My boy went to sea earlier than Luffy did. If you really think about it, Sanji was a trailblazer. Johanna I think the ancient giant got black horns. I think that's how you can tell what it is. So Johanna is definitely.
Also, she's also saying that like at least you have parents. So she's quite literally an orphan.
Yeah, Karen is the point.
All the Straw Hats are orphans.
Could be Loki's estranged child or sister or something. I don't know.
Wait. Colleen. This girl named Colleen?
What about her?
Yeah.
I just think that's very close to Colin.
Yeah, but I feel like
it was Karen.
The first girl.
Oh, Karen. I think that's Karen, personally.
The one with headphones.
I think that's Karen.
Oh, I'm looking on TCB. Y'all looking at the official?
It's Sunday, sir.
Man. Yeah. For sure.
All right. I see people in chat saying the different like definitions of what these names mean, which is actually very helpful. So Scotty is the name of a Norse goddess of winter mountains and married to Norse Poseidon. Bjorn means bear.
Winter. Shimosuke means frost moon. That is the Zoro of Colin's crew. I'm telling you, that's Scotty.
Shit, I mean that makes sense. Also, he's the only one like who has like actual like
he's frustrated, like
bravery. He's frustrated. Other than
Mug ain't exactly scared. He's crying, but
he's just confused. Like, I'm supposed to be too strong, and I can't even move.
Running, bro.
Nah, I feel like it's a front. He's like, yeah, I'm strong. Like, just like show up in front of like his classmates.
To lie to yourself in that situation is, to lie to yourself to force yourself to feel better is just an act of bravery as well.
I feel like that's a Usopp. I don't know.
No, Usopp just Mug.
No, Usopp does that a lot. You know that.
Ranya more so putting up a front than Mug, I would say. She might just be dumb. She looked like Shawty.
No, she definitely means that. She definitely means that.
Shawty,
you can see the brightness in her eyes. She means everything will be okay.
What's Shawty with the cat name from Ena's Lobby?
Which one?
Was with Conqueror.
You're talking about Chimney and Gombe.
Yeah.
Chimney.
Yeah.
She looked like Chimney a little bit.
Oh yeah, she does. Just noticed that shit.
Mug has gone backwards. My mama calling me. Okay, that's interesting.
Man, y'all talking about everybody else. Y'all need to be talking about the child y'all need to be talking about, Colin Fanakima. I was telling y'all, my boy Scopper gonna be happy about all this drama. And the first thing he's like, look at our son trying to help the kids. And he's just a whole bunch of foolishness. Ripley, the maternal nature came out immediately, but y'all might as well just put my boy Colin on the ship and just say JJ was right again. I'm just saying.
I mean, hey, JJ, you did call it out. And I feel like Colin's gonna have a huge part to play in this whole thing, especially because the fact that the kids have a huge role in terms of like this whole evacuation situation. But hey, if you guys haven't already checked it out, JJ made a short on his channel talking about the whole situation. So while you're there, put a view, put a like, subscribe. Gonna get more
Pretty
shorts from
please.
JJ.
You know what's
But
funny is
yeah.
I love how Gabbana's like, yo, Ripley, you heard that? Oh boy, he wild.
That was actually hella funny.
Them old men in One Piece is hilarious, man.
I feel like old men who like know they're the shit and like are hella strong, they always the funniest. Like it happened with Rayleigh, Scopper Gaban doing the same thing, Garp, same thing,
I
Whitebeard,
fuck
same
with Colin.
thing.
Though. Colin might be my favorite original Elbaf character besides Loki.
For real,
Same.
for real.
Who else up
At
there?
first,
Ripley?
I was like, because when he was introduced with Shanks, I was like, oh, who's this Luffy copycat? And like, as we got to know him, I was like, damn, okay,
And he
he's
looks
doing his thing.
like he's actually. I do think he's gonna join the crew. He's not too.
Also,
big.
Let's go.
Tornado
He's
in
not.
chat. I completely agree. Chimney is a go-to character because not only did Chimney, like, wasn't like scared in Ennia's lobby, she was just having a good time and doing everything. She's also the reason why most of the Straw Hats were able to find the corridor and whatnot to get to Lucci and to get to Robin. So
Shout out to
Chimney is a
Chimney.
huge reason why the Straw Hats are still alive today.
Who Chimney? The one that was with that rabbit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the little girl with the green
Okay.
hair.
I like that little girl. She was lit.
Yeah. No, she would go to.
I wonder if this story of Vicky the Viking can give us any clues on Colin.
Which story?
Vicky the Viking, the one
They
that
say
Otis grew up watching,
Yeah, Odyssey is
and the
his
one that kind of
favorite
inspired
show,
his.
right?
Yeah.
Ah.
Like,
That could be a whole deal in terms of the whole Elbaf plot line as well.
yeah, for sure.
So Mr. Nine said, well, my running theory right now is that Emu is a soul dial, a creature that can store lifespan, and that he ate the Eve tree that has infinite lifespan. So he has infinite lifespan to distribute. So more of like a Big Mom on steroids type deal. That makes sense.
oh yeah, I mean, I know Dak put the video out about like Emu being a mixture of all the villains, but just on record, before he put the video out, I kind of pitched the idea. I didn't pitch him the idea, but like I said it, and he was like, "Oh, I've actually been making a video about that." So we both had the idea at the same time. So I'm not stealing Dak's idea, but I do think that Emu will have a mixture of all the powers of the Yonko elite.
Not even
He
just
was
a
like
mixture.
all the villains.
Like,
I don't think. I mean, it could be all the villains, but I always thought the Yonko.
We definitely talk about the fact that like, each arc has a very like good structure in terms of how it portrays back to the main plot line of One Piece and how like it'll mirror the final saga with Luffy versus Emu. Like each and every single villain. Like with how they're trying to take over their certain countries, they're trying to manipulate people, do all these different things that they want, hiding things, all this stuff, right? So I feel like they're all mini allegories to the giant like microcosm that One Piece is.
I don't know if I hit my son, but listen. Lillard just went down with a non-contact injury. It's probably Achilles or ACL, but I just
Jeepers Creepers.
Damn, really? Oh.
Yeah.
This is all Doc Rivers' fault.
Yeah,
no, it's Darvin
that's
Ham.
the Bucks going.
It's Ham.
Darvin Ham.
Darvin. You know what's crazy? I saw I think it was like a mixtape of all these different like broken backboards, like just a like ranking of them. And to my surprise, I see Darvin Ham shattering a backboard. I'm like, when the hell did Darvin Ham do this?
He dunked the hell out
Oh yeah, he was a legend.
Yeah, he slammed that home.
It,
We just got
like,
no.
goddamn.
And that's when they had the rims refined back in those days, and he was like, "Listen, I'm pulling through that joint." Pause. But
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
just
that
saying.
was a legendary moment.
Somebody just,
Absolutely.
bro, what did we get a Discord message? Which server?
That was me with the notes for this chapter in case y'all needed
I
to.
clicked on it, and then I was like, well, it can't be that because I'm pretty sure you already sent the notes. All right, I need y'all to do me a favor, chat. I have a new show. I need participants. Come on down. The price is right. I'm gonna drop the link. Y'all can see the premise of the show. I should have said this when we had 21 in here. Y'all can see the premise here, where it's a call-in show where people call in and ask questions about. I guess we just gonna say One Piece, because ain't nobody calling me asking me about nothing else. Well, somebody did
What
ask
you
me so
mean?
foolish about Gohan. No, I actually agree with you. I'm gonna drop that show tomorrow.
About Gohan?
Yeah, being the main character as he should have been. But
Ooh, I agree with
click
that.
on the video. There's a number on the screen. Call it. Drop your takes, questions, whatever, and be
Well-
featured in the next video.
What anime are you talking about besides One Piece?
I got Dragon Ball Z question. I think Groovy was gonna ask something probably about Naruto, knowing him. But it's gonna be mainly One Piece most likely.
Is there any like things you want people to ask you about? Maybe not One Piece, but like some other
I
things you
think
want to talk
that
about?
when I start actually live streaming, I'm gonna like do like a topic of the day. Like today we talking about this, so call me and we make sure this is the conversation. Like don't call me to my no other shit. Appreciate you for subbing to it. I think I literally just looked at it and saw like you was my most recent subscriber. So thank you for that.
But
It
yeah,
means a
hey,
lot.
tune into the Crow's Nest, y'all. So
Yeah.
far, it's been great content. He's been killing it on the shorts recently, getting some views racked in. And first video, loved it. So be sure to
Listen,
tune in,
don't
y'all.
ask me about no Evangelion. If that's what you're talking about, do not ask me. I watched the first 2 episodes and fell asleep. But I mean, if y'all can call and give recommendations, that would be cool too. But I mean, I've seen most mainstream manga, I would say, and a few. I mean, not manga, anime, and a few kind of obscure as well. So it's gonna be if you ask me a question about something I haven't seen, you wildin'. You know what I'm saying?
Are you caught up on JJK on the manga?
Yeah, I finished that.
Yeah, I
It's
finished
hard
that.
not to with me every fucking week. As soon as the spoilers drop, it's all over your timeline, bro. Like if
Hey,
you had any inkling of JJK content on Twitter,
Wait,
it
so
was
JJK
impossible
is
to
over?
like
It ended?
yeah,
I mean,
Wow.
the manga, yeah, is done.
not the anime, of course, but yeah.
No, yeah, anime, they'll probably do season 3 when? 2028?
Probably I don't know. I see, and I'm
I know
gonna
they're gonna
start
take a
if
while.
I ain't get
You know,
enough calls. I'm gonna start bringing tweets and just responding to tweets. Like I saw some Zoro versus Yuta. Come on, bruh.
Are we really gonna do that? Come on now.
There's not a single character in the JJK universe that can beat Usopp. Why y'all even bringing Zoro into it? You feel me?
Are you
Come on,
serious?
man.
No need to invest in that.
Man, it ain't all about strength. It's not all about strength.
No. Actually, strength-wise, I feel like the only because of how broken it is, the only person that has a chance is Gojo. Other than that,
I think that writing
not that
shows
strong.
with weaker characters, like a weaker baseline for power, makes it more interesting.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Well, not.
I feel like.
It's,
Oh, sorry, my
yeah,
bad.
when
Go
you
ahead.
go, no, you good because I was lost for words. But when you like go above and beyond and start blowing the power scale out of proportion, like a certain show about ninja, then you can kind of mess things up. So I think that keeping it grounded, like JJK did, is pretty good.
No, I do feel like there's a lot of shows that I feel get much more love specifically when they have weak characters, and then that makes characters die off easily, and then there's like more gore to show and whatnot. Like for example, Attack on Titan. There's let's see what else. I mean, sometimes Hunter x Hunter
The
does
sense
that.
of mortality, like you
Yeah.
can really get got at any point in Attack
Yeah.
on Titan.
So,
It
and
makes
I
it
feel
so
like
much
that's what
better.
people love to resonate with and be like, oh my god, it's so much more realistic. Whereas in shows with power that's like scaled beyond comparison, like beyond human like comprehension, like Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, like yeah, it's fun and great, but like that realism that people are looking for, like it's not there.
Well, Dragon Ball
Which in
is
some
like
cases, like
people do die, but then they just get resurrected
come back with the
constantly.
Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of ruins the whole any inkling of death, and Dragon Ball just does not matter.
I mean, Dragon Ball did try because they were like, "Oh, you can't be brought back with the Dragon Balls twice." Then they did that. Then they're like, "Oh, you can't be brought back 3 times." And then like, "Oh, the Namekian Dragon Balls can do it." And they're like, "Oh shit." Then it's like, "Oh, you don't have powerful enough like Namekian genes like to make you better Dragon Balls." And it's like, "Okay, let's get the Super Dragon Balls." So, like there's a whole wraparound when it comes to figuring out how to bring back characters, which is I feel why people are like, all right, you know what, fuck this. So
just don't kill it if you're
I
gonna
can
do
see
all
why.
that. Ain't no death in Dragon Ball hit since Android 16.
Really?
Spoilers. Sorry guys.
Vegeta.
Bro, it's a show from the 90s. If they haven't watched it, it's
I
their
think
fault.
Vegeta's has
I'm
the best
sorry.
death in Dragon Ball.
Until it didn't matter. 5 minutes
I mean,
later,
it didn't matter, but it was still a good moment.
Literally.
It was an amazing moment, but then it's like, yo, this man just did all this shit.
Hey,
and it did not matter at all.
Apple
It
and
did
Chat
matter.
said if we change the balls enough, we can change the rules too. Huge pause, but you're right. Like
That's facts.
hey.
Even you, Kakarot. I love that scene though, man.
Without spoiling, what series has the best death?
Ooh,
How can I not spoil?
Well, just say the name of the series, but don't say the.
I mean, I still think Whitebeard is the best death.
Whitebeard.
And
Yeah.
well, Kingdom has a character that I would put on par, if not above, Whitebeard's death.
What about Naruto? Because I remember back in the day, there was. I mean, people were crying, bro. That's what I'm saying. So
I cried.
Naruto definitely
Geo's quality death.
has its moments.
It's just only one death in Naruto that hit me, really. You know, my boy got jumped.
Same
They didn't have to
here.
do him like that.
yeah.
Anybody else, I didn't really care. I mean,
Let's
if
see.
Kakashi would have stayed dead with from the pain fight, that's probably it.
I feel the same way with But I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil in case JJ's
It's
gonna watch it.
Naruto, bro. That man ain't finna watch, bro.
Nah,
how long we go OPU?
Hey,
and how long
we
this
need
man
a
been
chat.
talking about watching this shit?
Okay,
I know,
like,
chat.
I feel the same way.
We really
like,
need y'all to like tap in and let us know.
Actually, I was gonna
would
make
y'all
a.
like to see JJ reacting to all these different anime.
I was gonna send you a voice clip of this topic. Guy should have died in that fight.
Yes, bro. Like, come on.
Ooh.
Like,
You
just
know
kill
what?
him off, bro.
I can see why, but
He's
no,
my
they
favorite
had to show
character,
that
and it's like, but it's the end of the series. I just kill him off.
they had to show that Naruto was Jesus, bro. They had to.
Nah, when the nigga came through and gave everybody the QB clock, I'm like, yo, when did this like?
And Guy's not a
Let me turn
character
to that.
like
I
he's
don't-
not a character that's on screen constantly. Like he's not really essential to the cast. Where it's like you could have really gave him his moment there, bro. Like just.
But then Rock Lee is like a fucking bum in Boruto.
No, Rock Lee's been a bum ever since the
I know,
the time
but
skip.
he's a really
See,
sorry.
but that's not Rock Lee's fault. That's Kishimoto's fault. So I don't know about that one.
But no, Whitebeard's death might be the most masterfully done death from. But Kingdom, bro. I'm not gonna say the character's
I
name.
think One Piece has a
But
lot of
I'm
great
gonna
deaths. Like
watch
even
it, bro.
Odin was good.
Odin's death,
Odin?
bro, when
Oh.
I rewatched Odin's flashback with my girlfriend, bro. I was trying my best, bro. It didn't work.
Oh, that's another one. Kuma should have died, bro. Like
Reaction comes enough for me, but I can see it fun if JJ's into it.
Hey,
He'll be
That-
into it.
that-
I don't know. We
that-
got to do
that's what it
Freeman,
is,
bro.
man.
Freeman is the best show out. The best recent show out.
Let's go, Tornado guy.
you know, I was thinking recently. I was thinking about just looking back. A lot of shows have ended. A lot of manga have concluded, and I was thinking like, bro, 2021 was a peak time. I would say I would say it's up there with the big three era.
No.
I think
I
so,
don't
bro.
know, but I,
Because
I I get what
and
you're
it's just my
saying.
opinion. Like I know it's biased, but I didn't live through that time. But I was very young. But
See, I think for
I
me,
think
I
people
think the
forget
best
about like
time
One
other
Punch Man and
than
how good it was, and like some shows that maybe not they're not weekly, but there was a lot of good manga coming out at that time.
yeah. Now, I was gonna say that for me, the best time, other than the big three and Dragon Ball, I think my most favorite time I've been like taking in manga or anime, like just like as entertainment, was when I watched Blue Lock at the exact same time as when the World Cup was happening in 2022. And the fact that Japan was going on this insane run in the World Cup, I was like, this is amazing because the whole thing was crazy. Everyone was
Yeah.
like, Blue Lock is real life. And then, like, we saw all the jerseys being designed as well, like the official Japan jerseys being based off of Blue Lock. And it was just a huge thing. So, like, I feel like that
Nah,
was
that's
also really
facts,
dope.
though.
I
I ain't
think
gonna
like
lie, that's facts. I
29,
also
20
got
maybe
my suffering doing
2018 to
that.
like 2022. I mean, you had Attack on Titan, peak of Attack on Titan, and then like JJK was blowing up at that time, like a bunch of great series, Chainsaw Man,
Man, listen,
One
I respect
Piece.
that. But I'm gonna tell you this: so these arcs were airing at the same time, bro. Marineford, the Pain arc, and the you ain't watched Bleach, right? You're not done with Bleach.
No, I never caught up. I never
I'm
finished.
like, I'm like 100 episodes in, but
The
I
Hueco
haven't
Mundo
finished.
arc is probably the best arc of Bleach, and that was also like
I think that's the one
this
I'm
is
on right now.
all airing at the same time, bro. That is being spoiled more
That's
than
fine,
like,
but I'm telling you, I think
bro.
One
Come
Punch
on,
Man has my favorite arc, one of my favorite arcs of all time, and it was
bro.
going
What
on at
arc?
that time. Um,
That's a
super villain arc. I forgot what it was called.
You know,
I
I
don't know,
will
when the
say
second
in terms of like the show itself, I feel like MHA is really underrated.
MHA
My Hero
yeah, I
was
think
actually,
going
people
through
are
its peak right there,
forced
bro. That was
hating on it. People force hate on My Hero so much,
My
bro.
Hero was good
I
in
think it's to do more
2019.
so with the fandom and community because it's more so like they're very into shipping culture, which is also kind of weird because it's a bunch of high schoolers. But uh
Bro, JJK,
at the same
when the
time,
anime
like
dropped,
I get it.
that was what got me back into anime. That's how good it
I
was.
wish I what got me into anime. Can I remember the first anime I watched? I
I
just
mean, I know
remember growing up
exactly what
so
got me
much.
into anime.
I
The
know the
first
first anime I watched was
phrase,
definitely Pokemon.
the first phrase I can remember from like anime is "burning finger" from Gundam. Like, y'all probably ain't watched that, but like that's how long I've been watching. Like Gundam and Yu Yu Hakusho when they was both there, that's what I was watching anime. And then I never forget my brother. He was flipping through TV one day. Like we was just bored as hell. Parents gone trying to find something to watch, and we stumbled upon the scene where Goku and Vegeta are beam clashing in their first fight. And he's like, "Yo, what is this?" And from that moment on, we was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. Like, dang man,
Wait,
it's really came a long way.
when you said the three big arcs are going at the same time, that was the manga or the anime?
Anime, that was all airing anime wise.
Like around what time? Like 2008,
I think it
probably.
was 12. I think it was 12 when Marineford was airing. It was like 11 or 12.
And then Full
And
Metal
it was
Alchemist was coming out that time
yeah,
too.
yeah. It was the
That was a big,
when
yeah, that was a.
Mustang was fighting, Shawty.
And Wait, when did Hunter x Hunter drop?
2011. So that was also
Okay,
Yeah,
come
that was
on,
that
bro.
was the that was
I'm
the remaster,
not.
right?
All right,
Come on,
nah, yeah,
bro.
that takes it for sure, bro.
Code Geass is
Yeah.
my favorite. Yeah, I
Oh,
love
Kogi.
Code
Yeah.
Geass so much,
All right,
bro.
Yeah.
early
I
2010s
actually still
was
need to
probably
watch
peak.
it.
I'm not gonna lie.
I've been recommended it a lot, but I haven't gotten the chance to. I really do want to watch Code Geass.
I love it,
Heard
bro.
good
The
Steins Gate,
things.
ending
my
is
favorite anime, was in that
sublime.
time too. Yeah,
The
that
ending is
was.
sublime, bro.
Shit, I'm
And
trying to
then
remember.
when
Oh,
did
okay.
Attack on Titan came out? Like 2013, right?
Yeah, yeah.
2014.
2012,
Mhm.
2013.
It was 2012 in the manga, I know for sure.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
was gonna say,
I'll
I
give it to
remember
the
the
early
first time I
2010s then.
watched
Yeah.
anime. It wasn't really like watching, but it was through playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then I started watching Dragon Ball, playing the game pretty much. And I was like, yo, I gotta watch the story now. Then I watched it all. And then I got introduced to Naruto, not even through any mangas or panels or like any episodes, but I was at a sleepover with one of my cousins, and we were all just chilling. And then one of them wants to prank and do the 1,000 Years of Death on someone
Oh
else.
nah.
And then I
That's
saw
like
him do it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So then like they showed me, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I saw Naruto, and I was like, hey, honestly, this is kind of funny. So then I started watching Naruto, and I was like, yo, this is dope. So then it just carried on from there.
Nah, with me when Naruto was first
So how
aired, I
about
was hating,
Crow?
bro.
Would you say then would you guys give it the second place? Or you think that the
So on the
early
early
2000s is the best era then, or
Oh
second
yeah,
the
place
mid
era?
like
So,
the big three era
so I'm saying
alone
like the
because
JJK,
it's
One
called the
Punch
big
Man,
three
like
era, but it was so many
One
more classics
Piece.
that came out. But the JJK, Demon Slayer, My Hero, fucking Fire
Promise
Force,
Neverland
that
was good
era,
for a while.
yeah, that first season was fire. That era definitely is
I'll say
second. I
it's
would
in
say
there,
it's
bro.
like
It's
the
one of the best
resurgence.
ones. That's kind of what my main thing is like.
I just think the big three era is kind of reduced to the big three. But like, if you look at the anime that was also coming out,
there was a
bro,
bunch of.
like,
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true.
Death Note was coming out during that time, right?
yeah,
Like 2008,
No, I think
2009.
that was earlier. I think that was like what 2007.
it was
I don't know
still
when it was,
it
but
was
I
still
know
the
Death
big
Note
three
was
era.
around during that time too.
It was still the big three era, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
'cause the
yeah,
big,
yeah,
I feel like when I think of big three era, I think of from like 2005 to like 20, let's say 15, around the time Naruto ended.
yeah.
All right, that's fair.
But I'm also trying to think,
If
when
you have
did
Death Note in there, then
AOT and MHA air? Because I'm trying to think, like in the middle, like from like
I think AOT is the start of
2014 to like
the next
2018,
era.
there was like a middle ground period where like
It's
not
actually,
much was going
I'm
on.
okay. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It's Sword Art Online, bro. That was the
What?
catalyst for like the new
era.
era of anime. Even if it's ass, because I definitely
AOT. I
think
think
it's
AOT
ass.
was the next era.
I think Sword Art Online was like the big, because it was a different. Is it an isekai? I guess you can say that. It's not really
Yeah.
isekai, but it was like the first type like isekai to go big, and it was also like when the new phase of animation shit started getting crazy. And then I think that was like the same time as Attack on Titan, so like it works hand in hand with each other.
Yeah.
Nah, I agree with Tornado and chat. I feel like it was Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Naruto. That was the main thing. And then big three era obviously. Then like towards the like early 2010s, it was AOT slash MHA that like sort of like boomed like early on, and then they carried through the early 2000 to mid 2010s. And then Sword Art Online, I remember there was a bunch of ads for it too. But I think what got in towards like this era, what really made it like kickstart, I think in my opinion was Demon Slayer.
It's got to be Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I think I
So when
Demon Slayer was like the main thing, and
Demon
then
Slayer came out in
it
what
kickstarted to
2020?
Jujutsu Kaisen and then all that stuff.
So I think Demon Slayer was 2020 or 2019. That shit, bro.
See
That
then so
fucking theme song is
AOT.
bigger than some full anime. Like, it's more popular than some anime, bro.
So you're saying like
Yeah,
AOT until Demon Slayer came out was was another era of its own.
I think they should be considered the same era.
I think so too. I think it's like a new generation, new series.
But like Demon Slayer was like the resurge. Like I feel like after Sword Art Online kind of was ass, and AOT was starting to become 50 different parts of one season. It was like tempering off hype wise. My Hero came and picked the hype back up. My Hero and One Punch Man together. I think those two, because both of those being about heroes made them very acceptable in the West,
Not just
because
that,
we
but it
love
was more
heroes.
so because it was a very standard plot line, like the idea of like heroes and powers.
And another big thing
yeah,
was that One Punch Man was one of the first anime on Netflix.
Well, I'll say
Ooh.
that you know
I was about to say One Punch Man. Yes,
you brought up Sword Art
it
Online,
did
like
help
the
a lot.
isekai, and the isekai era has to be one of the worst things about that like
And it's not
2018 era.
a direct isekai, but a lot of isekai are like, it inspired a lot of isekai. I say that because it's like
No,
he's
I
playing
feel-
a game, but like it's
I
still
definitely
like
remember like in the mid 2010s that like One Punch Man was definitely a huge thing because that's when like the Goku versus Saitama debate truly started. Cause of the whole like oh, who is this? Because I remember like somebody was like, oh, One Punch Man's better than Goku. Because I remember
I said,
religiously watching Dragon Ball, saying, who the fuck is this bald ass
I was
dude?
like,
Then
that
I
made
watched
me
One Punch Man. I'm like, yo, this is sick.
That's the
But I
type
still
shit make
think
me hit
Goku's
on the
tough.
show, bro. Motherfucker saying that the main character stronger than Goku. I would dead ass not watch the show just because of that, bro. Like,
Oh, yeah.
don't even fucking play with me, bro.
When people
Like,
start bringing up Rimuru or some randoms, I'm like, who the
bro,
fuck
like,
are they?
and I
Like,
watched
they're
that.
not better
I
than Goku.
watched it, and then I finished it. I'm like, and then I get online, I'm trying to find people talking about it. He stronger than Goku. Like, come on, dog. That shit will literally make me not. That's why I wasn't watching fucking with Naruto. I'm like, oh, this is better than Dragon Ball.
I'll say this:
Okay,
I
say
have a lot
less.
of memories with Dragon Ball Super because I know,
Same.
like, just talking about it every day after the new episode would drop. It was like the same time when I think the ending of Naruto, like,
What I remember specifically is this was also right before my SATs too. I'm pretty sure was when the UI episode dropped for Super.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a whole
that was
announcement for it,
crazy,
a whole movie for it. I was so hyped, and I remember like the
That was
day
hype.
before, I was so ready for it.
I think it
And
was,
it turned out
but the
much
whole
better.
comparison with UI and like Gear 5, right? It's such a different conversation because with Gear 5, we knew it was coming because it was in the manga. But
Also
Super
very
got ahead of
spoiled,
his
yeah.
manga. Yeah.
Yeah,
Super
yeah,
got ahead of
UI
his manga.
just-
So UI was like a whole shocker because nobody knew it was gonna happen. I mean, yeah, they did the promos for it or whatever. Like we didn't know what it was, so like it was way more hype.
no, but it was
because of that.
the hype was insane, bro. I think people really downplayed the UI hype
I feel
because
like
it was
no,
nuts,
no,
dude. Like it was
crazy.
It was crazy. I'm
It's
not
a mix
downplaying.
of
I'm just
many
saying.
things.
No, I'm not saying
in my
you are.
try
I'm
to
saying some
compare.
people do. Like, and it's I don't know why we try to rewrite history. Like UI wasn't the craziest thing ever.
No, UI was crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
Goku getting a
It
new-
broke
it was
hub
boring,
servers,
bro.
bro. Like
Goku
I
getting
don't
a
want to
new,
hear it. If it
And
breaks
UI,
hub
servers,
servers,
I'll say
you know
this:
it's different.
they went so crazy with the animation,
the song and everything.
the music,
Yeah.
the animation. Yeah, so
How does the anime get ahead of the manga? What is that?
I have
How does
no
that
clue.
it was. I think they had the idea and they just gave it to him just for the hype.
They just
A
say, hey,
show
fuck it, go
that's
through.
so filler heavy like Dragon Ball. They just
I was about to say, don't forget about that Super to begin it. It was like all that Frieza
It was
stuff. That was,
ass at the beginning,
Oh
bro.
my
They
God,
redid an
bro.
entire 2 movies.
Bro,
Yeah.
when I watched Super, I felt like it was a chore.
I didn't
felt
watch
like
those. I
was
barely
forced to
watched
watch
those
it, bro.
episodes. I just kind of like.
Only reason I watched it because everybody was hyping up UI, so I'm like, let me catch up. I'm like, dog, do I have to watch this for real?
Well, I already
bro?
seen the movie, so I just would maybe watch an episode and I realized like this is kind of boring. I already seen it. The animation is
UI
worse.
theme was so fun. Yeah, UI theme was crazy. UI theme up there with like the JoJo's theme, Giorno's theme, the piano that everybody knows.
Yeah.
I think Drums of Liberation is in that discussion. And Gohan's Super Saiyan
Nah,
2 theme.
I don't think Drums of
I don't
Liberation
think
in
Drums is in
discussion.
there. I don't think so.
I
Bro,
think
that
it'll
shit
be
is
more in a
hard.
discussion once Luffy actually starts with his like very like high skill level fights, like he's already.
That shit is
Or
hard, bro.
that drums, y'all tripping. Those drums
Yeah,
of
y'all
liberation,
tripping, bro.
that mess right. Man,
No,
listen,
no,
baby, I don't
I'm
know
not
if that's
saying-
an
I'm not
African
saying it's
thing or
bad.
something, but them drums, boy.
no,
I mean, I
it's
think
good.
you were talking
And
about the
it's
most
good.
iconic One Piece song. It's like the one that they play when they
Overtaken,
fight,
right?
walk into a fight. Yeah, overtaking. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
dun dun dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
My
I think the
favorite
JoJo Liberation
One
is gonna
Piece
be up
song
there,
is
though.
the one where it's like whenever there's like a new lore drop. It's like Nico Robin revealing something about the world, or
Yeah.
and
It's
like
the
a
For me,
mysterious
it's
music.
it's Gold and Odin. The sad one that like
Mm.
they play doing like when you get to the sad part of the flashback.
Mhm.
That was probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
The fact that it's called Golden Odin, and that's like from
20 years
20
before.
years
Yeah.
ago. That's crazy, bro.
But in my opinion, I think the real reason why UI was such a huge success versus Gear 5 in terms of like the whole boom thing, right? Was because one, I feel like social media wasn't like as like, hyperactive as it was now. And not just that, but nobody knew about UI at all.
And I think
Like,
I think
but
like
I'm
the
gonna
cool
tell you
thing
the
with
real
UI
reason,
too,
the
it's
actual
something
real
different,
reason.
bro. Because people got tired of the same like
The
color
Super
hair
Saiyan.
transformations,
Yeah.
and UI
For
was
sure.
something completely different for Dragon
I'm
Ball.
gonna tell you the real reason. It lies
5
in
is just
the
a step up.
same way that you compare LeBron to Michael Jordan, right? If LeBron doesn't do exactly what Michael Jordan did, then it's not his. Like we look at his career as if it's disappointing. He don't win 6 rings. we hold them to that certain standard. And people wanted Gear 5 to break P-Hub servers and all this and that, when that just wasn't going to be the case. It was a whole different situation. So like it wasn't able to live up to that standard because the difference.
Also, not just that, but I feel like Crunchyroll servers have definitely upgraded
Yep,
since
I was
then
gonna say,
because
yeah,
of the fact that
No,
they probably
them Crunchyroll
anticipated the
servers
fact that-
crashed.
yeah,
I can confirm myself that them servers was down when I was trying to watch Gear 5. Like they
were
undoubtedly were down.
streaming.
And then some of
just
the
overall
websites,
streaming servers, they've gotten a hold of things a lot better now than what it was in like 2017.
I will say
non-anime
though,
was down too.
I listen. I love the OP anime. Don't crucify me, but in my opinion, I got more hype and more like a surreal feeling of like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on when it dropped in the manga. Because when it dropped in the manga, I was like,
they spread it out, bro.
yeah. Still, I feel like in the manga when we were reading it chapter by chapter, because I remember it like
the
real
manga
time.
was more hyped than UI's anime. I'll say that.
But
Really?
like I said, ooh, Jesus, whoa. But this is the thing. You gotta think about the sequence of events. And that's facts to know. When Shanks pulled up with that music playing, bro, my favorite part is when he like unsheathed his sword and all of his crew appears behind him. That's like one of my favorite scenes in One Piece. But anyway,
Yeah.
the hype from week to week during that, when Luffy hair started turning at the end of the chapter before Gear 5, bro. Do y'all not remember how fucking crazy the internet was for that week, bro?
Bro, everything was broken. Everybody thought he was like a resin fruit, that he was yellow. Even I thought he was gonna be yellow.
A million different theories.
Yeah.
That's all good. And when Gear 5 first dropped and the fan colors had him with like red, like yellow hair, like he was going Super Saiyan and shit.
Bro, I thought he was gonna go yellow too.
Nah, man, that's crazy. That was crazy.
I had a whole last TikTok and blew the fuck up because I made a theory about it that like, oh, he's white when it's the moon and he's like yellow when it's the sun, like the colorings and whatnot. And that shit got like 600K likes. I was like, holy shit.
Why is the sun god white?
I was dead wrong.
Do you remember that one Attack on Titan theme? I think it's when Reiner is revealed.
When he was telling like Aaron, what's up? Yeah, hey,
that's one of my favorites too, bro.
We gotta one day just really talk about like the best moments in anime in general though, because that's definitely up there, bro. Like I was watching, I'm like, what is he saying? Yeah. It would be hard to do a whole stream about it because it's not One Piece, but like when I was watching that and like Reiner is telling him like, yeah, I'm a Titan. I'm like, what is this nigga talking about?
Yeah, that gave me chills, bro.
It felt so out of nowhere, bro.
Yeah, like, but it felt so out of nowhere, but it felt real, like in the sense where like there was still foreshadowing up to it, and then but it felt real in the sense of like he just dropped this like out of nowhere.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. That's basically what he said. I am, I'm that. But that shit was fucking gas. Trying to see something else I put it up, bro. Y'all niggas gotta catch up. I would just say, but whatever else, some anime wise. When Gojo
turns out he's just a cloud man. Hey,
yeah, give us some of the best moments, and we'll do a whole stream about it. We gotta pick like. Well, like 16 maybe?
I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, we gonna do a whole Li Wufu ranking again?
Sure. Demon Slayer, when Giyu did the deep calm, that shit right there had me going crazy.
Anytime like Tanjiro says like Hino Kamikaga or something like that, I'm like, damn.
And then of course we're gonna have to talk about Gon's moments.
Oh yeah,
bro. I think the adult shit just. I mean, is that a spoiler? Not really.
How do you feel about the whole?
So random to me, bro.
Gon lost his humanity.
I mean, it's random, but it was still hype.
I'm so tired of that shit, bro. But I ain't gonna lie. The best fight though, Netero and Meruem, that's like peak fighting. Like
it was a good fight.
But that nigga said. Do you think I can only
we could do this? We'll do best moments and then best fights as a separate stream because I feel like it's a little different.
I don't want to alienate JJ though. He already been quiet for the past hour.
See, this is why we got to get the reaction channel.
Shoot, I'm still and first. I can listen to y'all chop up all day.
That man said foolish, and when he first did the dragon dive, that scene was crazy. Hunter do got some hype moments, but
Oh, we
I
do.
will. I am the number one. I think Chimera Antar is overrated. Personally, I feel like
Well, I'll say it
Chimera
was
Ant is
bloated
like,
in some parts in the beginning.
it's like the first anime where people like kind of watch the arc that had like deeper themes and shit. And like that's like it's like when you get into your first conscious rapper, you're like, oh, he the
Bro,
best
come
rapper
on,
of
no,
all
bro.
time type shit. Like when motherfuckers
Just like
first
hearing
listen to
J.
Kendrick
Cole for the
Lamar,
first
like,
time.
Yeah, J. Cole for the first
Cole,
time.
it's like this the best rapper of all time. Like he good, bro, but chill out. But nah, I mean, I think
It was
me personally,
boring. It was
York New
definitely
City
boring
is
at
my
some
favorite.
points. Yeah, it was very
Bro,
boring.
when that squid and that wolf, like, get this shit off my TV.
Yeah, and there's a lot of exposition, a lot of explaining in the beginning, and
Narrator,
very
bro.
slow.
Bro was the main character of that arc.
Bro, I remember seeing there was a meme of one Hunter x Hunter panel. I forgot where it was, whether it's a Chimera
Bro,
Ant
all
arc
that,
or
bro,
after
bro,
it.
that's
It's just
fucking
words.
insane, bro.
There's
It's
no
not a
panel or nothing. It's just
not-
words.
It's a full page. It's a book, bro. It's literally a page out of a book, bro.
I'm like, at that point, just write a novel.
That's why, if y'all watched the first episode of Crow's Nest, I was like, I think Hunter x Hunter has a great power system, bro. But just because it's detailed doesn't mean it's the best, bro.
Doesn't mean it's the most entertaining. Yep.
I think Bleach personally has the best power system. That's just me.
And it's funny because
Hey,
Bleach is the
I was
complete
saying
opposite. It's
earlier
very
on
simple.
in this like stream that hey, if somehow Oda can figure out how to not only merge Devil Fruit and Haki into a new like much more like crazy power subsystem that both of them stem from, and also make sure that like Conqueror's Haki can be achieved by anyone, I'm taking OP's power system over everything.
Bro, I need that
If he
awakening
does it
theory I got. If that awakening shit turns out to be true, where you can awakening, like awakening Conqueror Haki is like awakening Devil Fruit, I think that would be fire. Cause I just don't like, and I'm not saying this because I'm a fucking Sanji fan, because that's what everybody. Oh, you just want Sanji? I don't give a fuck, bro. He's still gonna be top 5, top 10 in the series with or without Conquerors. I can cry about it. I don't fucking care. But I'm just saying, for the themes of this story, I just think that Conquerors Haki is just something you're born with. Just doesn't feel right.
you're not wrong.
We've been trying to chase that high from the Karapika arc, bro. Yeah, that's why York New City is the best.
It's my favorite arc. Yeah, it's mine.
It's the best arc in Hunter x Hunter to me. Greed Island is
Short,
fucking
consistent.
ass.
It's very it's straight to the
It's
point.
hype from start. Like once it gets started, that's like it's a thriller nonstop. You meet the best characters.
Because Chimera
Venom
Ant
Fruit.
is good, but it really gets good once Meruem shows up.
Bleach has some of the best manga fights for sure. Bleach power system, bro, just it's because it's also detailed, but it's like you can take liberty. Because I feel like too much detail hurts. Like Oda has the problem where he has too little detail, and it hurts because now you got everybody wondering if every hit is using Conqueror's Haki or this or that.
Yeah, Bleach is very simple.
Like he thinks lightning is the only fucking way to to make something look strong. But Bleach is like you have your details, but there's so much gray area still that you can take liberties and make special stuff. Like you got the people that be walking around in Shikai all the time. You got like special Bankai and shit. Like that one dude from the light novel, he got a Bankai where he can only use it once every 6 months, but it's strong as fuck. And it makes sense. Like it doesn't feel like an ass pull for something like that.
Yeah.
That's why I like Bleachers a lot.
Makes sense.
I stand by this. I will always say this. Bleach has the best art style manga. That's the best art.
Bruh. Dog.
Too clean, bro.
Them fucking volume covers he be doing.
They always look good. All of
so
them look good, bro. Every
hard,
single
bruh.
time.
Like I love that trend.
Because
when they
I
had,
like One Piece
artists,
volume,
bruh.
but One Piece is sometimes I'm like, especially the older ones, I'm like, sometimes it's like the East Blue ones. I'm like, I don't know, bro. It doesn't hit the same as Bleach.
They're
Bleach
jarring.
Bleach is so simple. It's like it's a white background and it's just like a dope pose and very simple.
But that dude, like the one with my favorite is the one with Grimjaw, and also the one with Yamamoto where he's like it's like burning Inferno in the background. Like that shit's bruh.
Yeah, I mean Grimjaw.
But no, when they was doing
one of
like the other
coolest
ones and the
designs.
style of it. What is it? What is that?
Which one?
Fuck, what am I talking about? But when it was like artists on Twitter doing like other anime in the style of Bleach.
Oh
They did
yeah, I
one with,
saw
like,
I saw that. Yeah.
bro, that shit was so hard, bro.
All right, boy. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we can wrap it up.
It's supposed to be Golden Week next week, ain't it?
Yeah, so it's a
Ooh.
break. Fuck Jackson Hayes, bro. There
Bruh.
can only be a few of them, and some of them aren't just built.
Make sure you
That's
guys go
comforted by
subscribe to
somebody
the
else.
Crow's new channel. I'll
Yep.
be making
Shut
some
up.
guest appearances over there. I got some
Yeah, I
takes
got
for you.
another crazy take from, but one that I might agree with. Yeah, I gotta do that
I'll send you
my next video
the guy take later.
for sure. Yamamoto was the best fight for like a decade, bro. That fucking Zankai no Tachi West, bro. That nigga was crazy. But yeah, we can wrap it up. JJ, you got anything to say? Why JJ character so big, bro?
Well, because I didn't want him to be behind
man,
the
what you
chat.
mean?
The chat was
man.
in front of him, so
That's me in real life. I'm like 7'2". You feel me? Puma energy
Nah,
over
yeah.
here.
Gotcha. I'm there.
But now, like they said earlier, I did my first little short just to see, put my foot in the water, see how everything works out. Stream looked like, the short looked like it did a pretty okay number, so I appreciate the love, and I'm gonna see if I can stay consistent. I told my boys to stay on top of me, Pauls, just to make sure, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So y'all make sure y'all join the Discord. If y'all don't see a JJ short, by the end of this week, tell me about myself. Always check in on Marshall D Preacher's channel because we trying to be a little bit more consistent with our streams. Crow's Nest is popping. I heard Prince tell me some ideas and stuff he got going on for the summer. I'm ready to see how OPU do. OPU, we do what it do.
Yeah,
That's a perfect summary for me.
sure. He's spitting. I just want to say this real quick. Magic Johnson made a tweet that said he was sick to his stomach that the Lakers lost the game, and somebody responded and said, "That's not why you're sick."
yeah, should have seen that one coming. He walked straight into that one. Did you see?
Honestly-
Did you guys see the old heads? What was it? The old head versus 10 young NBA.
I gotta
fans?
watch that because I love Chill, bro. That man,
That was funny.
He's one of the coolest old heads. I gotta watch it.
All right, guys. We'll see you
Nah,
guys
I ain't
next
even
week.
hear about that.